back on again. Okay.
Lamb and many others have been held for over 400 days without bail, and they've had cruel and unusual punishment inflicted regularly. They're political prisoners of the United States of America because they stood up to the federal government and told them no to their views, no to their tyranny. Lamb and I are trying to stay in the cell for 13 hours. John is in a lot of pain, and it would be awesome if people could pitch in if they can get him out of the cell. He's really struggling. People suffer like this every single day and are never spoken of, and they feel completely forgotten in the prison system. Most people are in prison for non-violent crimes should not be in there. The guards here at CCA are the biggest drug dealers of all, and yet they hold people incarcerated on drug charges. How ironic is that?
Everybody ought to go watch, listen to Ammon after he spent 13 hours in there in his voice.
Now go to the Bundy Ranch page and you can watch Ammon 2.5 weeks ago on a Wednesday, and it didn't even sound like Ammon after spending 13 hours in a shower cell overnight, handcuffed. Now he's been back in solitary confinement ever since. We have to end solitary confinement, you guys. It's nothing but torture. Mentally, psychologically, physically. What time is it? pain?
What's that?
Have you ever been in so much pain?
No. I've been in pain, but it seems like there's a way to get out of it a little bit somehow or another, and there's no way here.
Prison box right now. They're trying to raise up to $10,000 or stay in there even if it takes up to 13 hours. Kel's saying John's ready to give up. But it's an ongoing thing right now, and they've been in there for 5 hours right now. Handcuffed in that little jail they made. Alright, can I get somebody to give you their number? Because I'm not going to be, around here at 5. Alright, hold on, okay? Here he comes right now.
Yeah, Kelly's next to, she's over here laying down, trying to get some rest. I'm trying to go to the 5-hour mark. Are you in pain over there, Kelly, too?
My shoulder hurts.
Yeah.
Can't lay down very long.
What's that?
I can't lay down for very long.
Oh, I know.
And my wrists freaking hurt.
Trying to just go another half hour, guys.
Good, John.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Got a hold of Fox, and they're going to call Gavin at 5 a.m.
Okay.
So I said that John might not.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Well,
Okay.
donations come first, right? If you get $10,000.
$10,000 for 13 hours, whichever comes first.
So they're on the phone right now with him.
Awesome. Thank you for calling.
I'm trying to call the parole, but I keep getting recorded that no one's they're away from their desk.
Yeah.
Good job.
Take the number. Ready? Let me see the number. Yeah.
How to end solitary confinement, guys. It's torture.
And I pushed one, and then one again. The desk. I pushed the desk to get to the desk.
Just put the front underneath this, okay?
That's one. I'm going to try the other one.
Okay. How you doing?
Doing great.
You sure about that? Or are you just saying that?
No bugs climbing in on me. My life died.
What if we played that recording of Ammon?
Yeah, John, Gavin, will you do that? That would encourage
Maybe on-
us.
Let's see here.
Just go to Bundy Ranch and then go to their videos.
This is the one from when he called you mean?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
God's been an encouragement to you. I think this is Robert.
You guys are doing great. Don't be ashamed to get out of there if you need to. Okay, let's see. Where is that one? Here it is. I wonder if it'll be loud enough, though.
Live here, Lamb and Bundy on the phone.
They didn't like that I had a...
Here we go.
Set it on the bench.
Tell us what you have been through. She said that there were moments that you actually had circulation being cut off and you thought that they were going to kill you.
Well,
What happened?
they didn't like that I had a shirt hung over my bunk bed, I guess. So the guy took it, and that's fine and dandy, but the problem is if you don't have your shirt, they won't, then you can't get breakfast the next morning because they won't let you eat unless you have a shirt. And my other two shirts were in the laundry, so anyway, I tried to get it back, and he refused, and then Ryan got involved, and he tried to get it back, and anyway, then they decided to use force on us, and drug Ryan out in the hallway. Actually, they said that they wanted to talk to Ryan out in the hallway, and so he went out there willingly and talked to him, and I told him that I wanted to keep an eye on him, because I was afraid of what they might do to him, and they said all they want to do is talk to him. That's all they said. Anyway, he talked out there for a while, and the next thing you know, they're following him down the hallway. And then they came in, and I demanded to know what they were going to do with Ryan, and they wouldn't tell me, and the other people in the pod were upset because they saw how the guy lied and told them that we insulted him, the guard, and they were upset, so the pod was upset. They wanted me to get out of into the hallway so they could do what they wanted to do with me without worrying about the other inmates. And so they grabbed me and drug me out, beat me to the ground, and kneed me, and hit me, and shoved their fingers in my ears and behind my ears. And anyway,
Can you tell us
handcuffed me. And
the names of any of the guards who were assaulting you?
no, and I don't want to quite go there yet, Kelly.
Okay.
I know maybe I should, but I don't want to be like them. I don't want to retaliate.
I know. That's fine. I'm just
I
asking.
they need accountability, but I don't know. Maybe I have more faith in people saying, "Oh, the problem isn't the tyrants.
They are.
They don't recognize themselves."
They're tyrants. You just called the guards tyrants. Did you hear that?
I don't even get it. I can't think that way, and
Okay, so
I don't get it.
they took you into a
Well,
shower stall.
They drug me down, yeah, and they took me down into.
This call is from an inmate facility.
Threw me in a shower. It's probably about a 3x3 block, brick shower. It has a metal door on the back side of it. And I'm handcuffed. And they did take my leg irons off, but my leg irons had cut around my ankles and both my legs, so they were bleeding.
Your ankles were bleeding.
And both of them, because of the trip down the long hallway with the leg irons on. And then I'm handcuffed behind my back. I got my arms turned out, so that really bad position. And then with that little room, I could just crunch up, and I could never get any comfortable. I could stand up, but after a couple hours of that, I'd have to go back there. I was hurting my shoulders.
And you were handcuffed this whole time?
Yeah, behind my back, and they were tight, and my hands were starting to swell up. Kept cutting circulation off my hands, kept having to move my hands to keep circulation in my hands. And
How long
my
were you
right
there?
shoulder, I was in there for 13 hours. And they were telling me that I was going to be in there for 72 hours. But I think the reason why they abandoned that was because Ryan was calling. He could see a little bit of the shower from his cell. So he was calling and trying to, I think that's what brought a lot of attention. And
This call is from an inmate facility.
mentioned one time that Nye County was going to come and investigate. And I think that's what, I don't know who said that, but whoever said that was wise in saying that, because they began to act different once that was said.
They didn't actually come and investigate?
I've never seen them or talked to them. No, I still would like to. I'd like to tell them what's going on.
You
I'd
want
like to show them my hands and stuff.
You want to speak to the sheriff?
Either that or the commissioners.
Okay.
Got you both,
They have a responsibility to protect the people's rights in this county.
Yeah, they do.
Just because this facility has a federal contract, it doesn't negate their responsibility to protect the people that are within the boundaries of their county.
No, the contract does not
That's
give
what's
them.
happening here.
The contract does not give them the right to abuse anybody. No contract gives somebody the right to treat people the way that they are treating you and many other prisoners. What you're experiencing, you are bringing light to what many other people across this country are going through, Ammon. And I commend you for being bold enough to share your story so that people can get involved and people can tell their neighbors what's going on and how we need to get to the jails and set these people free, all of them. If you guys are not going to receive due process, and there's no reason for you to be sitting in these jail cells just to be tortured and abused. This isn't America. This isn't how we do things.
No. Well, what they wanted from me is they wanted nothing but for me to submit. They wanted my spirit. They wanted to tear. That's all they want.
Yeah.
And so I spent, because they're like, well, we'll take your handcuffs off if you'll just strip and
This call is from an inmate facility.
do what we tell you to. And that's all they want, Kelly. And it's no different than, I don't know, but it seems no different to me than any other torture. When we think about torture chambers, they drag you in and they throw you in there and then they inflict physical pain on you to get you to, do what they want you to do or admit to something that they want you to admit or deny something that they want you to deny, but it's all through force, and that's what I just experienced.
You are absolutely.
Anyway,
you're absolutely a prisoner of war, Ammon. There's no other way around it. You are a prisoner of war.
Well, it got pretty. I don't know. I was quite a bit of pain, in there, and I couldn't sleep. Because I'd been up, the day and then all through the night, about 30 hours, almost 30 hours, I think, yeah, it's probably right around 30 hours since I had been able to, I was in there without sleep, and then I had to, I had to go to the bathroom, and there's no place, so I just put that in the drain, but then that was difficult.
Right there in the 3-foot by 3-foot shower that they left you in for 13 hours is where you also used the bathroom.
Well, yeah, there's no other choice. I had to go to the bathroom twice, and then I didn't want to use, there's no water. Of course, they don't feed you, but there's a shower there, but the problem is if I turned the shower on, it's too small, I would have got wet, and I was already, the temperature is already at the point, and probably because of the shock to my body and stuff, I was already shivering, shaking. I didn't want to get wet because I felt that I would be really cold then. And anyway, so then they kept telling me that if I don't submit, that they're going to escalate the force on me. And I just kept telling them that, look, they don't have a right to do what they're doing. You can't, you don't have a right to torture me just because they are not willing to give them what they want. And so anyway, then, so probably around close to noon or something today, I think they came in with like a SWAT team. They're fully geared up, like riot gear. I've never seen it here before like that. And they opened the door and drug me out. And at that point, I could, I was still in my handcuffs, and it was hard to get up and walk. But they weren't too mean to me. They weren't. They did help me out, but walked me over to my cell and to the hole, and they took me in there. They lay face on my ground while several of them were on my back. And then they handcuffed me, and I could barely move my arms, so they had to move my arms for me to put because they said as soon as they handcuffed me that I was supposed to put my arms on my head, but I couldn't do it because of the position I was in for so long, and because of the circulation of my arms, and still difficult to move my arms. So they used their hands to grab my arms and put my hand on my head, and then they stripped me all the way down to nothing, rolled me over, did their inspection, threw the clothes out the door, backed out, shut the door, and left me naked in the cell.
And that's where you are right now?
Well, the guard that looks over the hole here, he got my garment, my undergarment, and he threw it back through the latch, and so I was able to put those on, and that's where I'm at right now.
And how long do they plan to leave you in the hole? Until we come and get you out?
I don't know. I have no idea. The thing is we have to understand that in their eyes, this is all my fault. And I don't know.
It's not your fault, Ann.
I could be a good.
This call is from an inmate facility.
I'm just not a good prisoner.
You're not a good slave. You're not a good slave.
I know, but
that's all. This isn't your
if
fault.
I would just comply and accept, I could probably be a lot easier in here, but I don't know.
If you comply and accept, then that's what we
You
are.
have 1 minute remaining.
Then that's what we are to do out here as well. There's a group of us that'll get together, and we'll fly down to Nevada, and we'll be there by this weekend, and we'll bring as many elected officials as we can, and we will make sure that you have a meeting with either commissioners or the sheriff. So you can mark my words.
I'm telling you.
We will come. Okay? We'll come. John will come.
I really believe not for my sake, but for the sake of what might happen to somebody else. They intended on leaving me in there for 72 hours, and it would almost have killed me. I'm certain of it. 13 hours was enough.
Well, you have 500 listeners right now. Do you think they'll let you call back in?
Your time is up.
What time is it?
From CCA,
Okay.
Pahrump, Nevada Detention Center.
What's that in here? What's it doing? It's 2:45, so you've been in there.
Where
John,
he had a shirt
What's that?
hanging off of it.
John, you need to go out. You did good.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You're looking pretty wiped out there, guy.
Go ahead.
Threw him in a 3 foot by
make a
3
space
foot
here.
room,
Turn off
shower,
that recording now.
for 13
I can just
hours,
stick it out.
food and water,
Yep.
and after that, he was stripped.
All right. Let me get him here. Up.
did good, John. You did awesome.
That's okay. I'm just trying to find the hole. I'm trying not to bend your hands too much. Okay, I need to go in the top here. I'll get it.
Go slow.
Yeah, just take it easy. Just there we go. All right, bringing him off here. Okay, ease it out there. All right, let me just get the other one. All right, yeah, just turn it down.
Oh man.
Got it.
John Lamb is getting.
Okay, take that one. Take that one out. Okay, let me just. All right. Let's move this.
Okay.
You see, okay, we got some water in here.
Scoop this back. Watch yourself.
It's
Oh,
not
it's
much.
tied?
I have to scoop the bench back. So.
You go check and see who that is.
Let me scoop this off.
I can climb over.
No, we'll move the bench. They'll move the bench
You
out.
want some water, John?
He might not be able to lift his arms up very well.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Is it a partial? That wasn't your. That's your ice chest, isn't it?
Okay.
The bench winners.
All right. Okay. Now let me just
Okay. I
pull
can
this
step
back
over.
just a little bit so we can get clear.
Yeah.
You did good, buddy.
All
right, watch it there.
Buddy.
Here, let me get you a chair to sit on right here.
John Lamb is out. Here's the question that they asked everybody: can you raise your arms at all?
I can't raise my arms right now.
Can't even move them, huh?
No.
What time is it?
It's almost 3.
Kelli Stewart's still.
Almost 5 hours,
Yeah.
Sean. Good job.
Real good job.
I'm gonna turn this off and come back to it.
Spider.
Sure you're not seeing things?
What do they get? What do they get so far?
Squished it all.
Do you guys know?
Huh?
Do you guys know what your donations have been so far?
I'm not sure right now.
We left off right around 3,000.
We haven't heard in a while, but good numbers.
Good job.
I know your arms aren't made to bend back that far.
No, they're not. I couldn't do it. Not for that. Not for 5 hours.
My feet ain't sore at all, just my arms and shoulders.
See, they're intentionally leaving people in that position to inflict pain when they know it's totally unnecessary.
It affects everything. Your neck, your back, my hips hurt.
Even putting them in front of you, right? If they really felt the need,
Yeah.
put it behind
See
you
my
is
hands
just
how
a way to
swelled up they
abuse
are?
people. Yeah, they're not looking
I
too
can see
great.
it from here.
They need a break. How's Kelly's doing? See, Kelly's wrists are smaller, so they probably don't
Good
squish her
job,
quite
good
as
job.
much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, nice. You try to get some rest if you can, you poor thing.
Good. Congratulations on winning the benches.
Thanks.
Thanks for buying raffle
Back my
tickets,
head, yeah, get it.
supporting the cause.
Back home again.
Have a good one.
Good job,
No,
John.
we don't hear about that.
That's
Five
a
hours.
rough way to go.
You still lost to a girl,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
good job, buddy.
Oh, we're gonna stop you from eating and hopefully. But I bet you
I'm
kids
just
back
kidding.
in school.
No, I
John
know.
did
So
awesome.
we get them home this morning.
No one should have to do that long.
There's no reason for that. That's cruel and unusual punishment to leave somebody handcuffed for 13 hours overnight. Especially overnight. You're not even sitting on a bus being transported for 13. You know, then I could
Yeah.
say, well, if they could have handcuffed
At least
him
in front of you could do something, but
Yeah.
behind you like that, you're twisted away from what you normally put in your hands.
Yeah, you did good.
He is swollen. Look
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, it's not
Look
good
at this
stuff.
on the above. Above
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your hands are really swollen, John. I can see from here.
I know a guy, I forgot about it till just when I was in there, but there's a guy in Missouri that lost all use of his hand, and I know the guy, I've known him since he's known me before I was even born. His name is John Runyon. He's lost almost all use of his one hand by being handcuffed to a bench, and they handcuffed it too tight and left him there in a small jail in Missouri.
Wow.
And he still doesn't have use of his one arm.
Wow.
And it's been a couple of years.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
You need anything, John?
I think I'm okay. Just getting my feeling back in my arms here.
Yeah.
Which I had feeling, but just the wrong type of feeling. It's, you know, part of it. I didn't have feeling up in here is really, really sore right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hot, numbing feeling in the muscles.
How you doing? You ready to come out of there?
No, I said $10,000 for 13 hours. You can go to bed. Me and the spiders and those little crazy bugs will hang out. Maybe I'll eat one. Those things are crazy and they just like float across the gravel.
Ooh.
One of those things climbs on me, I'm gonna freak out.
You guys have raised plenty of money. You don't have to stay in there.
No, we don't. I know I don't.
And you feel your arms okay?
Yeah, they're just hot. Muscles are just hot.
Takes a while for them to come back in.
Yeah,
My
you're gonna be
hands are
sore
still pretty
tomorrow.
swollen. Still see the marks where the cuffs couldn't keep them up high enough or couldn't keep them moving around.
Yeah.
And that's just sitting still. Imagine having shackles drugged there after being taken to the ground.
Psychopaths.
And people say that these guards are just doing their job and they're
And if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime.
right. Ammon called those guards tyrants.
These guards, they set that time themselves.
Yeah.
There's no one that tells them that they have to be in there 13 hours or 72 hours.
Yeah.
Even if it's a maximum, they can keep them in there 1 hour
Yeah.
if that was the case.
Yeah, these prison guards are tyrants. Like Ammon Bundy said, these prison guards are tyrants.
To treat people that way requires an insane mind.
It does. And a lot of years of probably anger and envy and the need for control and power.
The lowest kind of human being works in those prisons.
Yeah. Yeah, why would you ever do that? Why would you take a job as a hostage center? Why would you go work at a hostage center? It's so annoying to not be able to.
You can't scratch your
I
nose
can't
or do
scratch my
nothing.
hair. I mean, my nose, my head. Look, my hair's sticking up everywhere. Yeah.
She's worried about her hair.
I'm going to sleep. Well, it blows in my face when it gets like that, and I can't put it back up, and then it.
So what you're saying is put it in a bun before you go in.
Well, like, yeah, it's still, all the baby hairs still come out. All right, John, go to bed.
I'm going to put this camera around too here in a second.
Should we want them both on, or you think, or should we turn the one off and
We
what
can
do you
just
think?
turn the one off then.
What is? Do you have a preference, Kelly? I mean, we can.
Well, more viewers is better, so you could, I'm fine with you leaving it on.
It can't hurt. As long as it'll keep running, unless you need it. We could always, if you need the phone for later,
No, I don't-
charge it. We could always just have people go over to Kelly's feed.
It's getting kind of cold, but I can't have a blanket. That kind of stuff sucks.
It's definitely chilling down a little bit out here.
Before I thought if it gets really cold, I'll just put my arms in my sleeves. But I can't do that when I'm handcuffed. I was like, oh, when it gets cold, I'm just going to slip my arms in my sleeves because I could have wore long sleeve, but then in the morning when it's hot, I can't take them off. You guys can go to bed for a little bit.
We can't just leave you out here laying on the ground, girl.
In Nevada, with the
Side of
snakes.
the road. John should go get some rest.
You gonna be up for a little bit?
I'll stay up. Yeah.
If I need to, if you get tired, you can come and just wake me then.
All right, we'll just keep an eye on it and see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, just take a break. Get your circulation back.
You just sleep in your truck for a little bit, and I can try to sleep, and then that way I can holler to you if I have a snake crawl across my face.
Oh, don't worry, we'll heal you all across the camp if that's happens.
Yes, you will.
It wouldn't matter if the ballers were steel at that point. For you guys, if you donate, we can get her out of there. AmmonBundyDefense.com. Let's just wrap it up.
You can do it, guys. $10,000. I beat John at 2 competitions now.
It's not a competition.
I am Bundy strong. Keep this up, and we're gonna have to change it to Stewart strong.
If we put this stream a little further back so we can see the cell.
Can't believe I'm laying on the ground. I don't even do this in a tent. I just want to be up off the ground on like a cot.
To sleep on the ground.
I don't like sleeping on the ground. There's too many bugs.
That's great, Mark. We don't know exactly what the dollar total is. Haven't heard in a while. But I think we're around 3,000 or so last time we heard. But we're not to 10,000 yet, so we need some more support for these guys in there. John did great.
Where's John?
I think John went to get some rest.
Okay, I called all of them. The
All right,
only
great.
one
Good
that
job.
I didn't talk to was Channel 8.
Well, I'm sure they'll do not much of anything, but at least they were notified, so it's their fault now.
Thank you for calling and helping.
What was that?
There's somebody's car out there. Or was it? Yeah. It's probably John.
Is this camera still on?
Yeah, they're both still rolling. So.
Oh my goodness, I want to itch my nose so badly.
What happened?
I just want to itch my nose.
What was it? Okay, right. same. The air temperature's just changing.
Emmett said he was cold and in shock and shaking.
This is crazy.
Why would anybody do this to someone?
Because they're Satan's people. Loves destruction and pain.
I couldn't even do this to an animal.
No. And if you did, there would be public outcry and you'd be arrested for it.
Yep, if I tied an animal's legs up and put it in a box. Sun's gonna come up soon. shoulder going numb. Anybody seriously still on this?
What?
Is anybody seriously still on this live stream?
Somebody must be.
Oh, my hands are freaking.
I think you'll have all the records here beat pretty soon.
$10,000.
Huh?
$10,000.
Oh, Kelly.
Oh, my hand is numb.
Let's get to them.
board back in front of me. It'll block some of the wind. I'm really cold.
Don't get too cold down there. It's over 5.5 hours now.
Circulation, but my shoulders are cold.
Not having circulation will make you colder too.
There it is.
It's getting a little chilly. Let's see here. Oh, that's the. Yeah. Gotcha. Good.
Bug bites.
Right. Okay.
She's sleeping?
She's not really sleeping.
You okay?
I'm just cold.
Can you stick your head in your shirt and blow in there?
My arms are what's actually just the coldest thing, just because they're, I don't have my circulation too.
I'm leaving at 5. I'm leaving at 5 o'clock. I'm going to take a cat nap.
I've got a good cat nap in here, so
You okay?
I'm alright.
You guys can go rest, I'll be okay.
Might keep getting colder. I don't think you just want to stay out here. That'd be good.
How much longer till the sun comes out, then it'll start getting warmer.
Well, then it will definitely get warmer.
About 2 more hours.
Oh, that's fine, I can make it 2 more hours.
She's relentless.
$10,000, baby. sun.
Your circulation might be affecting your body temperature too.
It's so cold. Is it not cold?
It's chilly, but it's colder for you.
It feels so cold. My arms are freezing.
People are on there supporting you. But,
What time is it?
$10 to $4.
Squeeze your fingers, check her fingers.
What's that?
Check her fingers.
Yeah, I felt her arm. She's cold, but you getting any circulation there? Can you move your fingers still?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's a little chilly. Get you out whenever you feel like you need to.
About dollars.
I don't know. Nobody's given a number in a while.
Get it. Might have to bump it up to 72 hours, so.
No. Crazy girls.
Ammon felt cold that night.
I know. I shake. Oh, these handcuffs off.
Did you want to come out or you okay?
No, I don't want to come out. I just want the sun to come up so it'll get warmer. I should have wore a sweatshirt, but I guess they don't get sweatshirts in jail. Maybe if we raise $10,000, it'll help
Are you close?
get him out of jail. No, I don't know where we're at. It's been a while since we've had an update.
Once people start waking up, everyone's sleeping right now. You know? East Coast should be waking up out now.
What is it? What time is it?
I gotta open the phone. 4:04.
4. What time does the sun come out? Like 5? Is the moon out there?
It's going down behind the mountain.
Oh, that's beautiful. Heavens declare the glory of God. See that one star to the left of the moon?
Huh?
See that one star to the left of the moon? Is it a star?
I don't know. I think it's moving. I don't know.
I don't think it's moving.
I know that by the moon this time of year you got Venus or Jupiter.
Yeah. It's really pretty.
I don't know. It's not moving that fast to be a plane. Right?
There's a little spider. So has it been 6 hours? Yeah,
Yeah.
I at least broke the record, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, besides Ammon.
Yeah. East Coast time is 7 a.m. right now.
7. Hey guys, if anybody's just tuning in, we're just trying to raise $10,000 for Ammon Bundy. Defense.com. You can go and donate. Been in here for 6 hours. Doing pretty good. My shoulders hurt. My arms are hurting, but I'm just cold, really. And I can't get comfortable because I'm handcuffed. It'd be so much more humane if they would cuff you in front of you, you know? So much less painful on your shoulders and hips, and or perhaps they could just not leave you for 13 hours handcuffed at all overnight. That would be nice.
You're behind bars. Why do you need handcuffs?
It's just a power trip they're on to try to beat them down and make them comply, make them give up. That's why they don't like us being here, because we encourage them not to give up, encourage them to get to their day at trial, get to their day at court. I can't read any of the messages, but ouch. I can try. donate more. Good morning, Sarah. Trying to read the comments, but my eyes are blurry and I can't rub them because my hands are cuffed behind my back. It's kind of maddening. We're here. Hey, Gavin. Hey, Tony. Tony, your family is such a blessing. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for praying. Pray for those prisoners in there. They're suffering every day. I know that this is going to end for me. Oh, I'm on the big screen here. Do you want to see my face on the big screen? See my hands. Just relax. Oh, I'm relaxed. I'm just cold. My arms are cold. Actually, my arms are kind of hot from being a little bit numb. I don't know what to say. Let's see. People in jail have been held for over 400 days now without bail. And Ammon and Ryan are still in solitary confinement, and there's lots of other people in the jail being abused and mistreated, and they haven't even had their day in trial. And even if they made it to trial, they don't get to call witnesses in their defense. And if you can't call witnesses in your defense, then how can you truly believe anybody in jail is guilty? Even those who really committed crimes, if they don't get due process, our founding fathers said that you can't retry somebody twice. So if you got all the people out, you couldn't even give them new trials to see if justice prevailed or not, because then you'd be putting them through double jeopardy. So what's the answer? Do we hold 9 guilty men and 1 innocent man, or do we set them all free? Our founding fathers said it's better that, I can't remember what our founding fathers said. It's better that 9 guilty men go free than 1 innocent man to be wrongly convicted. So when you wave your flag, do you believe what the founders said? The founders said that the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy trial. But these men at this prison across the street from me have been held for over 400 days. There's one man in there who's been waiting for his trial for 700 days. Why do you wave a flag that's supposed to represent justice and liberty for all if you know that somebody's been held for over 400 days without a speedy trial and has been denied bail? Why do you wave a flag? I'm not saying you shouldn't be happy you live here versus somewhere else, but why wave the flag that represented independence from the rule of a king and the rule of legislation and without representation, if that's what we're living under today? We have sheriffs that have abandoned their oath for money and for power, because if they speak up and do what's right, they lose their position, so they'd rather hold a fake position than they would to hold their position with integrity, because they know to hold it with integrity will risk losing it. They'd They'd rather just have the power, even without the integrity. And our elected officials are all bought and paid for, and our government doesn't obey its own rules. BLM put the Hammonds in prison for 5 years for doing something they do every day, and that's back burns, controlled burns. And they denied them the right of their witnesses and the right of an impartial jury, the right of a fair trial. And they were prosecuted by a federal government that just wanted their land. How can you wave your flag and think that we're still free? And we're not. Subjecting people to cruel and unusual punishment. Oh, little spiders are coming at me from the bench. When you are in solitary for so long, your joints and your muscles all start to atrophy, and unless you're exercising in those 4-foot by 6-foot solitary rooms that Ammon and Ryan are in, you just start to atrophy away. And you sit there and you wonder what country you live in. You know, some of our political prisoners want to leave the country once they're acquitted. Oh, my head itches. They said they can't live here and pretend anymore that they aren't awake and they don't know what's going on. Will you stand? When it comes down to it, we have the power when we unite and we're peaceable. Martin Luther King Jr. showed us the way, right? A suit and a Bible and disobedience. Disobedience to unjust laws and murderous government is obedience to God. Why do you pay your taxes if you don't support abortion when you know babies are being murdered on your dollar? You'll be held accountable for your choices and what you supported. To those who have stock in private prisons, you'll be held accountable for every person that was tortured in these prisons while you profited financially off of their abuse. For all of you who turned away and said, I don't want to get involved, it's too political, you'll be held accountable. Because maybe the Lord wants you to stand. Maybe it's your turn to come and stand and remind these people at the prison that they haven't been forgotten. We have the power. When we unite, we have the power. The guys did it when we first got here 2 weeks ago, and they put them in lockdown, and they all went on their hunger strike, and the lockdown was lifted the next day, and all the people thought they were going to be in lockdown for weeks if we didn't leave. But when the people inside, another spider. I hate spiders. When the people inside the jail united, they became a principled, strong force. They didn't have to be aggressive. They didn't have to be violent. They just had to be united with one message: no more. That was their message: no more. And they lifted the lockdown. When are you going to say no more? When are you going to give up your comforts for the sake of somebody else who's being abused? Jesus said it won't cost you much. It'll just cost you your whole life. That's all. He who wants to save his life will lose it, but he who loses his life for his sake will inherit eternal life. So what does it mean? Gavin's always preaching, love your neighbor as yourself. What does that mean? If you were being abused and forgotten in prison, what would it mean to love you? Would it mean to forget about you, or send you a couple letters here and there and pretend we've done our part? Or would it mean to give up your own life and stand so that somebody else could have the chance at freedom? That's what Ammon did when he went to the refuge. He went and stood for the Hammonds, even though the Hammonds weren't in a mental place to stand anymore. They'd been fighting the BLM for 20 years, and they had lost an ungodly amount of money in court battles, and they were tired, and they gave up, and they surrendered. I believe if the Hammonds hadn't given up, and if they had let the people protect them on their own private property, I believe they would have been able to put the right kind of pressure on the elected officials to get involved and grant them a pardon. But they weren't strong enough anymore. They had been beat down by the government for so long. They spent so much money and so much time. They just said, enough, just take it. Take whatever you want. Take our lives. And we just sat back and watched them on January 4th, 2016 was the day they turned themselves in. I think Ammon went to the refuge on the 2nd. And it was either the 4th or the 6th that Steve and Dwight Hammond turned themselves in, went back to jail for the 2nd time. Why did we let that happen? Why did we, the people, let that happen? Why did our elected officials let that happen? Because we weren't loving our neighbor as ourselves. Now they sit in a federal prison in California while Susie and the rest of their families are in Oregon. Can't even go visit. It's too much on Susie to go visit him. Our elected officials didn't even keep them in Oregon for the sake of Susie, so that she could at least go visit her husband in what's probably his last years on this earth. Why did we allow this to happen? Why do we allow these prisons to lock people up in holding cells and torture them? I mean, literally torture them. Strip them naked and violate them physically and emotionally, mentally. Why do we allow that to happen, America? And corporations are making money on it. Our founding fathers, they didn't want to be getting legislated without representation. They didn't want people back in England making their laws. They said, you're too far away. You're not making laws that truly impact us in a positive way. You don't care about what's happening to us. And they went to war. And yet here we sit with elected officials who make laws every day that aren't for our good. They're just for the financial better of the corporation and the money, the politics. And America does nothing. And when it does something, it's so unprincipled and vile that we can't stand with it. So where are the good people? Where are the good Christian soldiers? Where are the Davids who will stand up against the Goliaths? With 5 little stones, that man stood. He was a young boy when the whole army shook with fear. David said, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And with 5 stones, he took down the giant. Why do we fear the giant if our faith is in God? I think the sun is coming up a little bit, maybe. Hey, no fair, you put on a long sleeve shirt.
Oh, I put that on a long time ago.
Oh, did you? I thought maybe you'd suffer with me and leave a short sleeve shirt on. $10,000, guys, will get me out of here. I think last time we got a count, we needed about $7,000.
Done good. Well, even this hour, you got about 100 people watching, so.
Really? Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy.
That's what they're saying about
It's
you.
probably like 75 trolls and 75 trolls and 19 FBI and police and 6.
Hopefully they're suitably ashamed.
6 supporters.
Well,
That's
they
okay.
love you in there. How does it? Is being famous what you thought it would be?
I don't want to be famous. I can't wait to go back to my quiet little life. Oh, my shoulders hurt.
Not a good position to be in there. We'll get you out whenever you're ready.
$10,000 and I'll be ready. $10,000 means maybe Ammon will get out sooner of this. So I get out sooner and then...
Money is good, but God will get Ammon out. We don't have to fret about it.
I'm not fretting.
No, but you're sore.
I'm so sore. I'm cold.
The people on the stream want you out.
I can't read any of their comments. My eyes are too blurry. Not being able to rub my eyes.
Get out, says Debbie.
Jeffy.
Sarah says God will get Ammon out.
I know he will.
John is out, yes.
Yep, John's out. He made it 5 hours and he was in so much pain. My arms are longer than his and quite frankly, I'm just a whole lot tougher than him. I'm just kidding. I'm just more stubborn is all. I told Ammon we'd come get him out. This is all I know to do.
We just keep pushing. God's gonna have to move because we don't have the power.
I know. I keep telling them that we have the power. When the people unite, we have the power.
Look how many people came out here. America's completely asleep.
I know. We're trying to wake them up.
I know. We just gotta keep pushing. But at this point, if you're not ashamed of America, then you don't know what it's like to be an American.
As long as one person has hope, the size of a mustard seed, we could say to that mountain, move, and it will throw itself into the ocean. One person can spread the hope. AmmonBundyDefense.com. Support Ammon's legal team to have the funds needed for representing him in his trial. It's already gone an ungodly amount of time past due.
People are starting to wake up on the East Coast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's getting light over there already. Well, it's probably already up over there.
I see a
couple
little
of hours, you'll have a lot more till you get
silhouette on the horizon, maybe.
Still about an hour till true sunrise, but it's definitely starting to lighten up over there.
See people being on the live stream and encouraging me is like Ammon being in jail and us being out here encouraging him. It keeps him going because he knows he's not alone. That's what that man, what did I say his name was earlier? It wasn't Sean, it was...
Oh, the other guy we met today?
Yeah, Thompson, something Thompson.
Yeah, we wrote it down. I can't remember right now.
He said this ain't just about Ammon Bundy anymore. He said you guys are being out there has lifted the spirits and the hope in every prisoner in this God-forsaken hostage center. That's why they want us to leave. They don't want us to give them hope. They have hope they might fight the system and they might win. Instead of taking their crappy plea deals and admitting fault when the only fault is on the ones holding them and the judges that are prosecuting them.
That's why people like Richard Mack want us to leave, because it shames all of these people who are saying they're constitutional sheriffs and constitutional police.
Yep.
They're an embarrassment to the Constitution because they won't stand up for it.
Embarrassment. When Ammon Bundy gets out, he needs to run for sheriff.
They say Constitution and wave their flags and say freedom, and they say things like Constitutional Sheriff's Association, and not one of them will do their job. And so instead of calling each other out on it, they make excuses for each other and tell the people who are standing up to them that they're going too far.
How insane is that? That the constitutional sheriff, a part of the Constitutional Sheriff's Association, could show up and tell Ammon Bundy to tell us to leave. How stupid is that?
It's the Unconstitutional Sheriff's Association.
Protesting the right to protest your government for redress of grievance, the right of the people to peaceably assemble.
It's a disgrace.
We're on somebody's private property.
Defenders of treason.
We're feeding people, we're loving people. And Sheriff Richard Mack wants us to leave. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on the warden, shame on the sheriff. You guys don't know what the Constitution is.
It's a marketing piece for them to get attention.
It's a marketing piece, that's it.
Defending it is not what it's about to people like this. They've decided to sell out because it was easier, because things got real.
Yep.
They thought they wanted to defend it, but when things got real, they said, no, we're just going to stick with the comply.
Yep, and the money and the vacations and the perfect little appearance of life. Why is the moon going up? Shouldn't it be going down as the sun is coming up?
Well, the moon rises at different times.
And look at that beautiful star. They get stuck with it. See that? What planet is that?
I'm not very good at my astronomy.
They were
But
both down.
it's that really bright one.
They were both down at the very bottom, and now they're both in the same position, but higher. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
$10,000, guys. We need about 7,000 more, or maybe 6,000 now.
Do you want a donut?
AmmonBundyDefense.com. Ammon was held in a 3-foot by 3-foot shower for 13 hours, handcuffed overnight. Handcuffed with his hands behind his back. And then 6 people, 2 of which it's reported were women, stripped him completely naked, examined his body to make sure he didn't have anything hiding anywhere, and then threw him in solitary confinement. This is a man who's waiting for his trial and waiting for his day in court. This is how we treat pre-trial detainees, aka hostages.
If any one of us treats somebody like that, we're called a sex offender,
Yep,
a predator, a felon.
yep.
And yet we got
Criminal.
people who are supposed to be constitutional leaders, so-called, going in and saying, stop protesting this.
That's disgusting.
We got our representatives that are silent, sitting at home, pretending they're representing
Hey,
the people when they
sweets,
want
all
them
your
to speak
smoke
out.
is going in here, and I don't mean to be bossy, but it's going to choke me out.
I'm sorry. Put it out.
Well, or just maybe move over a couple feet. I don't know why it's all filling up.
It's just
in
the wind blowing this way now. Just gotta...
It's okay.
I think she put it out. It's good.
Thank you. These little bugs keep climbing up.
You're at war with the bugs.
I
The bugs are
am.
your
I
jailers.
hate the
The bugs are your prison guards.
I hate
They're just a lot
bugs.
less abusive than the ones in there.
I haven't seen any of those hoppy thingies, though. Those were something else. I thought I was not going to make it if those things showed up again. That was big, right?
Yeah, it was big. I don't think those actually bite, but it was pretty creepy.
I don't see it. I never see those
I
in Washington.
I haven't seen that in a while. We have some weird bugs in Washington, but we're usually not out in... Washington has all kinds of creepy things.
Does it?
It's just greener. It's just greener, so it makes up for it.
Prettier. I try not to ever sleep outside if I can help it, unless I'm in a trailer. Are people asking what I'm doing, or they all know?
They're just talking about how much they like you.
Right.
You're so popular. You're so freaking popular. What do you think? This is some sort of a popularity contest?
For every praise, there's 10 criticisms.
I want everybody, everybody...
Because I'm never doing it right. I'm always doing it wrong in somebody's eyes, even the political prisoner's eyes. Don't do this. Don't do that.
I think everybody should email Richard Mack for betraying the Constitution. A lot of people looked up to him, and he sold out because it was easier to stand with the blue line and his cop buddies and thinking they're better than other people, and therefore people shouldn't stand up to their corruption. And it's a shame that he decided to go that way.
Somebody, if you could post Richard Mack's email and send him an email and let him know that he sold out and he should have been coming to fight for Ammon.
He should have been defending this for the last 18 months instead of hiding in the corner along with the Oath Keepers. Let's not just stick it on him. The Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes, Infowars, all of these guys.
Where's Alex Jones?
Joe Biggs.
Where's Dennis Michael Lynch?
All these people who have a voice, who could be speaking up.
They should all be reporting on this stuff when there's abuse in the jails going on. They're who we count on as like independent media.
The same for our so-called liberty representatives and legislators who are always, they get on there and crow how they passed some semi-conservative bill or voted against a new socialist bill, and as if that's really saving the world as the world's falling apart and they're afraid to even open their mouth. Politicians and Donald Trumps and
Jeff Sessions, who signed the indictments on the second group from the refuge. The politicians aren't going to fix this, guys.
At the Bundy Ranch, we sat in a room full of all these legislators and senators and state representatives who pledged that they weren't going to let this happen, that they would stand up and that they would speak out. And where are they?
Oh, really?
Oh, there was a whole room full of us. There was probably a half a dozen state senators. There was representatives, and they pat themselves on the back pretending that they're doing something because they pseudo-support the message when in reality they don't even open their mouth. There's maybe one or two left that actually speak out. Fear has us gripped. There's light over there, Kelly.
I know. The sun's going to come out and it's going to get warm.
Then you're going to be like, it's so hot in here.
Like, it's so hot. Will you guys put a tent over me?
Actually, the air is feeling a little warmer now.
I want to brush my teeth. Ugh, I could never be in jail.
You don't have to go to 10,000. You can get out of there whenever you want.
$10,000 is... The people will...
Maybe we'll have to raise the 10,000.
The people will get me out, right? That's what Ammon says. Besides God, he says, well, the people will come and they'll stand and they'll be principled and they'll be bold and they'll make sure that people aren't getting abused. They'll love their neighbors. So
God likes to give us victory without money. He likes to take our brokenness and make it into something good.
I know. Don't work against me. I'll kick you through the cell.
I'm just saying, you've served your time.
No, I haven't. $10,000 is a number that came to my mind that...
Sarah says she'll fly out and brush your teeth.
Oh, that would be sweet, Sarah, but they didn't let anybody brush Ammon's teeth. But I hate not brushing my teeth. I really do. I brushed my teeth before I came in here, but I like clean teeth and I like a clean face. And I like a bed that doesn't have bugs in it. And I like not being handcuffed. I wouldn't be a very good prisoner. you leaving?
Elaine has to go, but yeah.
Elaine, thank you so much for staying up all night. You're awesome. Can you go home and sleep?
Yeah. I might be back later in the evening. Maybe. If I don't sleep through it. Bug.
Thanks, Elaine.
Don't forget this for John.
Thank you. You said you might be back?
In the evening, like 6, 7 o'clock.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
Don't forget this.
Oh, yeah. I'll give it to you. Just leave it.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Drive safely home.
Be safe. Don't be too stubborn over your health also in there, okay?
I'll try.
Okay.
I'm in Bundy strong, so good luck. And Ryan Bundy's strong. He's stubborn. Man, he's a stubborn man. Lisa, Angie, hats off to you girls. You are married to some stubborn men. You guys can sympathize with my husband because that's what he says about me. He says, "Woman, you are stubborn, relentless." You guys can get me out as soon as we get... Oh man, I've gone over my data plan so many times tonight. You guys gotta help out just for that.
Pitch in. Get those dollars flowing.
Like 4 gigabytes over my data plan.
Well, if we can raise that 10,000, that'll be worth it.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, you guys can get me out, and by you guys getting me out, it goes to contribute getting Ammon out. So there. So help. Maybe you could text Morgan and see where we're at. He had a hearing he was going to, I think at 8 or 9. Tell him he can't tell me an incorrect number just to get me out. Totally take for granted itching your face until you can't do it, and rubbing your eyes. I don't think I'd make a good prisoner. I think they'd kick me out.
They'd kick you out. Well, that would be nice. What?
I have to pee soon.
Well, I can get Sandra and she can try and work something out.
We don't have a drain, so I have to use a bucket. By myself. Oh, welcome to America. That skyline is beautiful.
The desert has its moments.
It does. Silhouettes are beautiful.
About 2 to 5. Probably cramped all over.
Ammon's so much, well, is he a lot taller than me?
He's certainly bigger than you. I don't know how. I'm sure he's taller
He's
than you
half
too.
the size he was when he got into jail, since they feed him like crap. And he sits around in solitary confinement all day. Shane. Was it Shane Johnson? No, that doesn't sound right. Isn't it funny, the police here, that we may have stepped over a line 2 weeks ago and they come out with 5 cop cars and their sirens on, but you know they've been watching my live stream at some point tonight, and they're not going to come check and make sure we're okay. I think I would if people were handcuffed outside of a prison. I think I'd go check on them. But if he checked on me, then they'd have to admit that they're not going in and checking on the prisoners that are being subjected to this against their will. They'd have to acknowledge that this is cruel and unusual punishment. They're complicit in violating the constitutional rights of their people in their own county. People say that we don't understand the Constitution, but they forget that our founding fathers intentionally wrote it to be understood at the 8th grade level. And they also intended that we would be able to negotiate it through it ourselves, and we wouldn't have to go to one of the branches of government that's supposed to be held under the confines of the Constitution, that we wouldn't go to that branch of government and ask them to please interpret the Constitution that's supposed to restrict their powers. How stupid is that? Go to the very government that's supposed to have limited power and ask them, how much power do you have based on what the Constitution says? Because they're going to limit themselves, right? $10,000, AmmonBundyDefense.com. At 13 hours, we haven't made it. We might have to bump it up to 72, since that's what the law allows, is 72 hours. They can hold somebody in solitary confinement without food or water. And it's supposed to be like 100 and, isn't it supposed to be like 102 or something today? What, 97 yesterday? No?
Probably, yeah.
Why were you shaking your head no? And then you said...
Because you're not staying in there for 72 hours.
Oh.
We will drag you out before
So
that.
you won't. That would take away my agency, and you can't do that.
Once you're unconscious, your agency requires
That's what they
intervention.
did to Hammond. Once he was slumped over in the shower, they had 6 people go in and remove him. But you better have SWAT gear on. I'm going to be kicking.
Your husband's agency will unleash on me if I take you home on a stretcher.
This is true. He wants me home in one piece. That's for sure. I beat John at Beards for Bundy's and the torture chamber.
That just really tickles you, doesn't it?
It does. It's gonna look so awful when the sun comes up. If Fox 5 comes out. My sense of pride is gone. $10,000.
Be proud. $10,000. Come on.
Guys. Did you text Morgan?
I did, but I haven't heard back.
He was sleeping. He was still messaging us at like midnight.
He probably fell asleep in front of the computer.
If I were him, I'd be like, I am not updating you every hour on where you're at.
It's been a few hours.
It's like I could have taken a case in that amount of time and earned the money myself. That's not the point. The point is that this cell is a replica of what Ammon was left in. And so when we raise money in this to get us out, we raise money to help get Ammon out and all the others, because we know he's never going to stop fighting, which is why they keep silencing him. Why do you think him and Ryan are the only two they've cut off phone privileges to this last week and a half? Because they're the only two calling out with messages for the public. And they're still leading the charge.
They're the ones telling the truth.
They're the ones still... Yeah, they're speaking up. So they're silencing them. Oh my gosh, my shoulders hurt. It's warming up.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna get real warm as soon as that sun pops up.
$1,000, guys. Don't leave me in here for the day, please. Don't leave Ammon in there. Why is John's camera so much wider of a...
Just a different, well, it is way further back, but it is a little bit wider. It's just the way the lens is set up on it. Got it? Maybe?
John's screen is so much brighter too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the angle or just the settings on it.
I can't read any comments.
Here, I'll move it closer so you can read it.
No, it's okay. It'll just make it closer to my face.
Well, that's okay, because you got a wide angle. If they want a wider angle, they can go to John's stream. Let me tilt this one up.
No, you don't have to put it in closer.
I want you to be able to talk to people. If you talk to people, you can pump them up. And this is hurting.
Come up, yeah. Come up. I need you guys to come out and stand.
Prison torture today. We should make those a little bit larger.
AmmonBundyDefense.com. Get it out there. Share it with your friends that have money. You need money if you're going to play in the devil's courts. All the big dogs have money. That's how they win their cases. Oh, hey Sarah. Thanks for hanging with me. You want to come bring me a bucket so I can pee?
Do you want me to go get Sandra?
No, I'm okay right now. I will in a little bit though. I'm kind of hoping though that when he updates, we'll have $10,000 and I can get out. My husband, I think I'm the lucky one with my husband. He's good to me. He's very good to me. He's good to our kids and good to our family, and he works hard to support us. The day I left for Nevada, hey Dale, we had a peacock show up in our backyard. Beautiful. Bra strap is falling down. It's so annoying. There's no way I'm gonna get that up. Do they give women in bras in jail? Or do they even give women bras in jail? It's so annoying.
I've never run in the women's jail, but so I don't really know.
They
I'm
probably
imagining
don't
they
because
give them something, I think.
they probably consider them like a strangulation device or something. But
Surprise.
we had a peacock show up in my yard, just like one at the fair. And then my daughter's friend was making fun of her because it was only $7,000 more. Did Morgan do an update?
I haven't heard from him yet.
I can't read it. Peacocks make awful sounds. They're beautiful, but they make the most awful sounds. And we have my daughter has her friend like, I don't know, maybe a mile away. Yeah, probably a mile away. And just a few days after I left, she texted me and said the peacock ended up in her friend's backyard. And her friend had been laughing at her for having this peacock because it was hanging out with us for like a week. And then it ended up in my daughter's friend's yard. I have a turkey, and I think it was calling to the turkey. Sometimes the turkey just free ranges, and it. Oh my gosh, my bra strap is going crazy now. Oh. Ready for my home and my bed. Doesn't home sound good? Home sounds so good. Ammon and Ryan and Pete Santilli and Ryan Payne and Brian Cavalier and Blaine Cooper and Steve Stewart, Eric Parker and Todd Engel and Greg Burleson and Jason Woods and Ricky Loveland. They haven't been in their beds in over 400 days. They went out and stood up for people who were being abused at the Bunkerville stand-up in 2014. He was asking if you've worked with the Western Prison Project. My wrists are sore, and you didn't even put these on very tight.
Yeah, I know, those things are terrible.
They are. They just hurt. They make the bones hurt. Have you ever heard of the Western something? I don't remember now what.
No, I'm not familiar with it. I mean, I follow quite a few of the prison reform pages and stuff, but I'm not familiar with that one.
Why would you leave somebody handcuffed all night? It's the stupidest thing, especially when they're locked in a 3x3 cell. It's so bad for you.
Because you're possessed by a demon.
Yeah, they are. They're demon possessed in there, and those of them that aren't demon possessed are demon deceived.
The irony is probably 2/3 of them go to church with a big smile on their face on Sunday.
Yep, they do.
And all their friends pat them on the back and say thank you for protecting our community.
Thank you for keeping us safe from the big bad Bundys. AmmonBundyDefense.com. We need to get no hearts. There's no hearts. You guys should send me hearts. AmmonBundyDefense.com. We got to get $10,000 for me to get out of the 3-foot by 3-foot cell. Hair is tickling my face.
You know, you think about our church, they look up to the police officer and they look down on the prostitute.
Isn't that reverse?
But and both
but
have their
Jesus
problems.
Jesus had mercy on the prostitute and condemned the
America's police
officer.
are morally below the prostitute.
That one guy in town today said there was a thank you for the hearts. One guy in town said that there was all these all kinds of corruption going on there in Pahrump. I don't know if it'd be the sheriff's department or police department.
Oops.
Oh, you can leave it off now. It's bright enough without it.
The camera will still be really dark in there if I don't
okay.
have some light on you, so we'll wait till the sun
One
pops up.
officer got caught arresting prostitutes and then taking them back behind buildings and
He didn't even say who
sleeping with them.
who it was, that it was prostitutes necessarily. It was just women that he was taking out and doing stuff with, and
it was
taking
women.
advantage
And
of.
then another officer was.
Yeah, this was just somebody working at one of the stores. Almost every local you talk to has stories about the corruption, and this is another sheriff who ran as a constitutional sheriff.
Yep. And then another guy was pulling people over and confiscating their drugs, and then turning around and selling them and making a killing on them. And that's here in Pahrump, Nevada, where we are, Nye County Sheriff's Department. Yep, Dan Love, Dirty Dan Love, doesn't even have to testify in his own trial. So much for being able to face your accusers. $10,000, AmmonBundyDefense.com. We can do it. Get me out of jail and help get him out of jail. I don't know what else to say.
You're doing good.
I talked for like 3 hours straight last night. I couldn't believe
You should have heard what you were saying when you were asleep.
Stop, I never actually fell asleep. I think I twitched once and then I felt my arm completely numb underneath me and realized that going to sleep was not going to be beneficial. I was just going to wake up in pain. Let's see, what else can we tell you? You guys have any questions? Not that I could read them. I wonder where the Dirty Dan Love is hiding now. 7 hours to go. Oh, don't say that. I can't be in here 7 more hours. You guys gotta raise the funds. I found the camera. I can't read that one. We can do it, guys. $10,000. It's not that much money when we all pull together and do our part. If everybody watching right now donated $100. Wait, how much would that be? We have... I can't see that one.
What's it? Which one are we looking at?
We have 54 here.
Oh, and
how
that
many
one over
people
there.
are watching there?
83.
83. So what is that? 80 and 50 is 130.
Something like that.
So
It's
if
actually going
everybody
up now.
donated $100, that would be
13,000.
that would be $13,000. If everybody right now could go to AmmonBundyDefense.com, AmmonBundyDefense.com, we could raise $13,000 right now. If everybody watching donated $100. Thank you, Debbie. AmmonBundyDefense.com. Everybody right now, if you could go there and click donate now. Oh my gosh, to turn my wrist the opposite way. Oh, that's awful. Oh, there's a spider.
Where? I don't think that's a spider, is it?
Yeah, it's one of those little white ones. AmmonBundyDefense.com. If everybody on could hop over there and donate $100.
Get over there.
It'd be $13,000 we could raise right now. That's what the Bible means when it says that many hands make for light work. Many hands working together, and it would get me out of this cell if we could do that. What else could I say for trying to teach? The 13th Amendment says that the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy trial. Only the accused can determine what that is, not the Supreme Court. 100 Times, oh, we have a second live stream going, Edward, off of John's page that had 80 viewers. So that's what we were talking about. But
got someone from Brazil on here.
That's awesome. Welcome from Brazil. This is how we roll in America. We wave flags and we pretend that we're free, and our politicians and our judges and our police lock away good Americans who speak out against abuse. And then while they're sitting in jail waiting for their, quote, speedy trial, the prisons are making $65,000 a year, and that's just the base price. I'm sure for people like Ammon Bundy,
there's bonuses.
Everybody's making a little bit more money. $65,000 a year for one person to stay in this facility. And that's how we roll in America. We deny bail. If you read from Brazil, Kelly has been in the cell. If you read about Americans in Brazil, and you think that that America is free, then think again, because in America we deny bail, and we deny speedy trial, and we deny the witnesses of the accused choice, and we inflict cruel and unusual punishment. And so don't think that we're free here. We're not. We're just puppets who bought into the system and bought into the corporate way of life. We're pawns, and we keep the big boys rolling in their dough, and as long as we comply with everything they say, we don't get in any trouble. So the guy we met yesterday, I think his name was Shane Johnson, but I'm tired, so I have it all written down.
Let me see, I think I have it.
He's a good guy, and he got arrested because do you have a job? No, I don't have a job. Terry Langley. Oh, I wonder if that's a Melissa Langley and Melissa Porter friend. No, I don't. I'm a homemaker. My husband works, though. Thank you, though. God bless you.
Being a homemaker is the best job.
Seth Johnson. He was out shooting on BLM land with his dad and his brother. And the BLM rolled up, and they wanted to inspect their guns, and
they were homemade guns.
They were homemade guns. He always ordered all his parts and made all his own guns and enjoyed it, and ended up getting convicted of felony gun charges because he was on federal property at the BLM, and spent 5 years in jail, got 4 years probation. The last 24 days of his probation, he got a BMW on the car lot he owned, and he was driving 120.
No, he wasn't.
Well, I'm sorry, they accused him of driving 120, and they got him on a parole violation, and so he went back to jail where he is now for 1 year, and then I think another 2 years probation after this. All for making his own homemade guns.
Fake law.
Not hurting anybody. They said his guns were supposed to have a serial number on them. Well, in a country where you have the right to keep and bear arms, why in the world do you have to have a serial number on a gun if you made it yourself? There's all kinds of people who make their own guns and build them, and it's not...
The federal government has no authority to have serial numbers on them.
My hair is...
Your hair. Don't worry, when the sun glow hits it, it'll look good. But the kicker on this, on Seth's story too, is not only was he not speeding, the violation, he actually had a dash cam with GPS showing that he wasn't doing it. The state dropped the charges.
Oh, I totally forgot about all
that. The state dropped the
that.
charges because it was irrelevant and they had nothing. And the feds said, we don't care if the state dropped the charges. We're not going to give him a trial or anything. And it doesn't matter if there's a dash cam proving he didn't do it. We're just going to take the fact that the officer said he did and put him back in prison.
That's right. I totally forgot that part. And he said over and over, once you get in the federal system, you're screwed. You'll never get out because they make money on you and they're not going to let go of you. So if everybody on here could hop over and go to AmmonBundyDefense.com, then I could, thanks Sarah, then I could get out of here and go get some sleep And then the funds will also work to help get Ammon out of jail. It will help his defense team go and work on his trial. So if everybody here could, we got plenty of viewers now between the two pages. We're pushing 160 viewers. So if everybody went and even gave $50 at this point, we'd make our goal. AmmonBundyDefense.com. And we're out here supporting Ammon Bundy, and we're standing against prison abuse outside of the Southern Nevada Detention Center in Nevada on Mesquite Road and Panorama, where we've been protesting for the last 17 days because it's a human warehouse where they make profits off of denying people their constitutionally protected rights. And we're here to protest that. And I'm tired. The next trial coming up is June 26th. For the first guys who should have already been acquitted because they couldn't be found guilty.
The double jeopardy trial.
Yep. Even though it was a hung jury, you don't just keep trying people till you get a unanimous vote. If they couldn't unanimously convict them, they should have been released. And tried to make them bold. I can read that. My arms hurt, so I'd love to come out. $100. Thank you, Dale. God bless you. I really hope we're getting close because I'm stubborn. I'm not going to come out, but my arms really hurt. Did you text Morgan?
Yes.
I'm going to text him again and see where we're at. I felt like $10,000 was the amount my time in here was supposed to raise, so I can't come out before that's done because I have faith and I believe that people will come through and it will help the whole next group, and it will help relieve stress off of Ammon and Lisa's plate, things they don't need to worry about. They have enough to worry about. Lisa's at home with 6 beautiful children. I know, I've been holding it. Sarah said, how have you not had to pee? What? Oh, I think it said good day. Good day to you too. We're just out here at the Southern Nevada
Southern
Detention Center. I'm protesting prison abuse. Go to AmmonBundyDefense.com. Get me out of jail, and it will help get Ammon's team better funded. I sent you a second number. Text that one too, so we can get an update. Morgan, wake up. Actually, I'm sure he's awake because he had that hearing at 8. How long? I came in here at 10 o'clock last night, and my goal is to raise $10,000. I'm hoping to do that within 13 hours. How many people died during the 2 years that the dangerous political prisoners roamed free? Nobody died, Sarah, when the political prisoners roamed free. And nobody died when they took their stand against the federal government, because they weren't there to hurt anybody. They were just there to protect the Bundy's cattle and protect the other people that were protesting and make sure they could protest freely without being abused. So essentially, the people sitting in jail now are the ones who went to the protest and did the job that the police should have been doing. The police should have been protecting the protesters and protecting Clive and Bundy's cattle, and instead they were helping the BLM, and so the people had to stand up. We're the fourth branch of government. When the first three branches of government fail, it falls on the shoulders of we the people. Of course, we'd prefer it wasn't that way, and we would prefer to just depend on our elected officials, but when we can't, then we the people have to step in and be the peacemakers and protect our fellow man. Handcuffs on. Showing them I'm actually handcuffed.
Prove it. Patrols are in there telling you you're not actually handcuffed.
I don't know, I just heard somebody say something about being handcuffed, so I should. How thoughts stop. Here's a thought, stop abusing the prisoners. Yep, that sounds like a great idea. They are investigating themselves. They've been investigating themselves now since last January. We still don't know why there were 2 or 3, I think 2 bullets that hit Lavoie's car. I think it was 2, one on the roof and one on the window when he first stepped out. And those are the unaccounted for bullets that the FBI and the OSP have not claimed. And so, but don't worry, the government's investigating them, and they're going to get back to us. But it's been, what month are we in? Are we in June? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 months they've been investigating themselves. And they have not come up with an answer as to why the FBI shot bullets and then lied about it and then cleaned up their bullets before they left the scene, and they're all still working and doing just fine. And Lavoie's dead and they have not been held accountable. So that's how our government works. So if everybody could go to AmmonBundyDefense.com. We've got about 200 viewers right now between both pages, so if everybody donates $50, we'll have $10,000 donated, and I can get out of this cell and go pee. Put on chapstick. So I wear a lot of chapstick. Brush my hair. Look, hair sticking up everywhere from being stuck on the walls. AmmonBundyDefense.com. What am I doing here? I'm outside of a prison protesting prison abuse. This prison here in southern Nevada locks people in 3x3 showers with handcuffs on, and they'll leave them up for up to 72 hours without food or water. And so I am in a cell. Thank you, Sarah. And I'm trying to raise money for Ammon Bundy and his legal defense team. And it's been a little over 7 hours. And I don't know how much we've raised, but last night we had raised I don't know, like $2,500 last night by 11 o'clock. So I'm hoping we're at least halfway, and I'm hoping that for people watching this for the first time, you'll look into prison abuse and you'll realize that most people in prison are not violent criminals, and most of them are not even criminals, and they're being wrongfully held and they're being forgotten because they make our government a lot of money. Local government, state government, federal government, they make them all a buttload of money. And so we're trying to bring awareness to that and also raise funds for Ammon Bundy's legal defense team, so Lisa and Ammon don't have to stress and worry as much. Let's go to AmmonBundydefense.com, and if everybody watching right now, we have 195, almost 200 viewers, if everybody could donate $50, we'd have, I don't know how much now, but I lost my train of thought. It's gonna get hot out here in Nevada. It was 97 yesterday, so if I could get out of here before the sun is up, that would, I missed that comment. Sorry, whoever was asking that. We're out in Pahrump, Nevada at the Southern Nevada Detention Center, CCA, also known as Core Civic, where they make $65,000 a year holding people just like I am standing today, without trial, without due process, without bail, without a jury of their peers. They inflict cruel and unusual punishment every day, and they justify it and say it's their job. Their job is actually to protect their fellow Americans at all cost, just like the Bundys and everybody who supported them in 2014 did. They went out and supported their life and their liberty and their property. So we're trying to raise awareness against prison abuse and ask that people get involved. You can follow John Lamb, Gavin Syme. John is not, believe you are still locked up. You can follow Gavin Syme or John Lamb or myself, Kelli Stewart, but I block a lot of people and I don't accept many friends requests, so you might stick with Gavin Syme and John Lamb. And Luana, you're awake. I am still awake. Still trying to hit the mark, $10,000. Housekeeping here to fluff your pillow. I'd settle for a pee bucket, Sarah. You don't need to fluff my pillows. Come on, Morgan. Somebody get a hold of Morgan and ask him where we're at. Let's see if we've hit $10,000.
Here comes the prison bus.
Be strong, young lady, when many wake and tell you to give up. Many will wake and tell you to give up. I won't give up. I won't ever give up. I'm stubborn like that. There goes the prison bus. And it might be the man that's in there. These guys are able to see us. Awesome. See all our signs. And see our signs that say "Let my people go" and human traffickers, and I don't know what else our signs say. A woman urinal, that would be nice. When John built this, he didn't build a drain for me like they gave Ammon, so I do have a steel bladder though, so that does kind of help. My husband doesn't, so whenever we travel, he makes it about 10 minutes and we have to stop. And same with my oldest daughter. But I can make it hours. So I always laugh at him. Oh, my shoulders hurt. I wonder how people like Clive and Bundy and Dwight Hammond, people who are used to being out ranching, how they handle being in cells. Clive and Bundy was put in, how long have you been in there? Since 10 o'clock last night. Clive and Bundy was put in solitary confinement for months when he was first arrested. Months. I don't even remember how long, but it was crazy. It was the longest of all of them, and he said he was doing sit-ups and push-ups and jumping jacks to try to stay active. I can't imagine going from working on thousands of acres to sitting in a 4x6 cell overnight because the government's afraid of you because you're going to uphold the Constitution and do the job they should all be doing. That's pretty crazy. I wonder how that's affecting like Dwight Hammond and other people who are so used to being active. So you guys could go to AmmonBundyDefense.com. Oh, you don't have to. Why? Dude, turn the light off.
It makes your complexion look better.
I'm looking kind of gray.
The light's just a little gray right now. No.
Gavin's our camera tech person, you know.
There'll be sun soon.
He's always
You'll be
looking at the
warm.
lighting. If I was worried about lighting, I don't think I'd be in this cell after all night. I haven't brushed my teeth.
Your teeth actually look fine.
So
you
gross.
haven't eaten either, so like there's nothing to have gotten your teeth
I know,
dirty.
it's morning.
So,
It's morning breath. We gotta brush our teeth in the morning. AmmonBundyDefense.com. $10,000 is the goal. I'm praying we're at least halfway there. We were at 2,500 last night. If everybody watching right now, we're over 200 people. So if everybody watching right now went and donated, I don't even know, but just if you went and donated, that would be awesome.
$25.
Marvelous. Awesome. Oh, wait, you're just saying that? Proof of this.
Point of this.
We're trying to raise funds for Ammon Bundy's legal defense team. Ammon Bundy's been held for over 400 days without bail, along with a whole group of people out here in Nevada. They're at a detention facility that has, I think, over 1,100 beds. About 90% of the people at this facility have been denied bail and are waiting for their trial. But in the meantime, while they're waiting, thank you, Lori. In the meantime, thank you, Debbie. While they're waiting for trial, this private prison is making $65,000 a year on them, and they're abusing the people that are in here. So we're out here in a 3x3 replica of what they do to people when they want to make them comply and they want to make them plead out so that they don't go to trial and win, which is why the federal government has, I want to say, a 98 or 96 or 97% conviction rate for guilty pleas, because they deny people bail and they lock them away in these cells, and then the people get hopeless and they feel forgotten and they plead guilty to crimes they didn't commit. And had we granted them bail and granted them their speedy trial right, they might have gone to trial and won. And so we're out here trying to raise awareness to what these people are going through. We've been visiting people in this prison and learning of the abuses. It happens in all prisons, Jamie. This is not just this one. We just personally know people experiencing it here. But really, the fact that any prison would not have protesters out front is shocking to me. And so it tells me we need to keep educating people and keep helping people understand if they don't speak up now, they could be the ones in there next, and they could be the ones forgotten. So we're in here trying to raise money for Ammon Bundy's legal defense team. He's being abused in this prison along with many, many, many other people. We have a couple live streams going, so it's funny when people log into the other live stream that are not very nice people to me, and I'm like, oh, you're blocked on my page.
You win them over yet?
My shoulders hurt and we want out, so if you could go and donate to AmmonBundyDefense.com, and then if you could come out and support Jerry DeLoomis the 31st, which is next Wednesday. He has his sentencing. He pled guilty because the federal government threatened to indict one of his friends who has cancer. Then they assured him if he pled guilty that they would not indict his friend, and so he pled guilty, and they have so far upheld that and not indicted his friend with cancer. But Jerry DeLoomis actually came after the stand-up in Bunkerville. He wasn't even present And he's sitting in federal prison where he's been denied bail for over 400 days. And he now has his sentencing next Wednesday. They could give him time served, or they could give him time served, or they could give him 25 years. So be praying for Jerry and Susan. Patricia, we haven't gotten an update since last night. So last night we were at 2,500. Love you too, Tony. We were at 2,500 last night, and our goal is $10,000 to get me out of here. I do try to keep my sense of humor. So hopefully we're at least halfway. The sun's coming up, and it's going to be hot. And I don't know what else. All you people are here now, and now I feel like I have to talk to you, but I've been talking all night. I need a Frappuccino with extra whipped cream. I usually get it in a Venti cup, but I get a Grande. If you put it in a Venti cup, they can put whipped cream on it, and then you don't lose any of your Frappuccino that you paid $39 for. So I could get one delivered here to Camp Liberty as soon as somebody donates $10,000 so I can get out. That would be awesome. I also need somebody to do my hair, brush my teeth, take out my earrings, and bring me a pee bucket. Or you could just donate $10,000 and then I could go do all that stuff myself. Jerry was not there until after. Yes, I know that. I know Jerry. I saw him yesterday. I promise you he was not at the Bunkerville stand-up until after it ended. And they still indicted him based on his pictures. His Facebook pictures of him with his Second Amendment rights out at Bunkerville. AmmonBundyDefense.com. The legal team that we're raising funds for is the same team that fought for Ammon in Portland, and God used them to usher him into a not guilty verdict for occupying the wildlife refuge, which was a great victory. Jerry DeLumas pled guilty to, did he just plead guilty to conspiracy or to his weapons charge also? I think Jerry might have only pled guilty to conspiracy charges. These prison clothes are kind of baggy, or whatever they are. They're hospital clothes. Tony affirms that and says we were there when Jerry arrived after the stand-up. He arrived after the stand-up. Is she in jail? Jeffrey, I'm in a makeshift jail and handcuffed with my hands behind my back. And raising awareness to prison abuse. I'm outside of the CCA Core Civic Southern Nevada Detention Center in Nevada. Obviously, it's the Nevada Detention Center. Raising awareness because they lock people up in 3-foot by 3-foot cells and leave them handcuffed overnight. So I'm protesting outside of the jail because that's what proud Americans do on a whatever day it is today in the middle of the desert, and it feels like a God-forsaken town because it's so dry. And when we march around the jail, you feel like the Israelites. It's 4 miles around the prison, and it's dry and it's hot and the roads suck. So as soon as I raise $10,000, I can get out of here. My goal is 13 hours, but if I'm not there, I'll push it to the 72, which is what they are legally allowed to hold people. Yes, I will. They're legally allowed to hold people 72 hours without food and water. Grifters gotta grift. Hey, whatever gets it done, right? We're out here working our tails off, buddy. Everybody's got to do their part. You know, for some of the, you want to block that person right there, Debbie Drake Parks, right there. Bye, Debbie. Bless you. That's so great. I didn't know you could block them during the live stream. I thought you had to wait and then go back through all the comments.
Oh, you can do it in real time.
And his mom let it go. I have a kid I know who got beat bad. I miss that now. That is true, Patricia. Usually those with the least money give the most. That's no different in this community. We need a couple doctors or politicians to step up and support Lamb Bundy, because he is, I am a blocking machine, Tony. Help Lamb Bundy and help me get out of here, because my shoulder's hurt. Nothing back from Morgan about where we're at.
Can't get a hold of him. I don't know if it's, I wonder if it's going to like the black hole texts, because
I text him your number so he could be expecting one. So as soon as we raise $10,000 for Lamb Bundy's legal defense team, and I don't know, because I've been saying this for 7 hours, so I don't know. You are beyond incredible. We can do all things through Christ who gives us strength, right? To those he's called according to his good purposes. Poor felons. You're silly, troll, because these people haven't been convicted of a crime. So for you to call them felons shows your own ignorance. I'm gonna go back one comment. 2 comments right there. Haha. Prison. Wait, down there. Josh. You can't call them felons when they haven't been convicted of a crime, goofball. In order for them to be felons, they have to have their day in court. These men want their day in court. They've been waiting for it for over 400 days, and the government's denying them their day in court because the government knows they're going to lose. So when they think they're going to win, they grant somebody speedy trial. But when they don't think they're going to win, they bump out their trial over and over and over to try to get the person to plead guilty. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's why they leave them in these 3-foot by 3-foot cells, to get them to plead guilty, because they know they're going to get their tails handed to them on a platter, just like they did on October 27th in Oregon. So we are raising money to help Ammon and his legal defense team, and as soon as we raise $10,000, I can leave the cell. I've been in here since 10 o'clock last night, and my arms hurt, and I'm ready to come out. And Ammon was in here for 13 hours after being beat up and left with bloody ankles overnight. And then 6 people stripped him naked, buck naked, a man who has not been convicted of a crime and is told all the time that he is innocent unless they can prove him guilty. So they stripped him naked and threw him in solitary confinement. And he's been in solitary confinement ever since. So we're out here protesting that, protesting the abuse that's going on inside of that jail and all the human trafficking that's going on inside of that jail. And so you can help by donating to get me out of here. Why should they even be on trial? They stood up to the federal government because of federal overreach, and as a result, 2 years after they participated in the Bunkerville stand-up. And talking to like 240 people at a time. Then they went 2 years later and arrested them on crimes like assaulting a federal officer. Carrying a gun in the presence of a federal officer is considered assault if the federal officer feels intimidated. That is what Judge Navarro said in her corrupt kangaroo courtroom for the first trial. She said, "You don't have to brandish your weapon. All you have to do is have it present in sight of the officer. And if he feels threatened, then they can charge you with assaulting a federal officer." Tell me, America, how would our founding fathers feel about that when they said, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed"? I don't think they were kidding about that when they said "shall not be infringed." So as soon as we raise $10,000, I can come out, and that will help Ammon Bundy's legal team, and then I can get out and go pee. And Gavin has stayed up all night long, making sure I didn't get bit by any scorpions or rattlesnakes. And what was the other gal's name that stayed up with us? I already forgot it.
My brain is not on full capacity.
I know. Elaine?
Elaine, I think it was, yes.
Elaine stayed up. Gavin and Elaine stayed up all night to make sure I didn't get eaten by any snakes when I was laying down. That's awesome. They're troopers to look out for me like that, even though I told them to go to bed. Sarah, get a hold of Morgan and see where we're at.
Checks the available.
I'm tired.
Call.
So, what do you want to know about me? I might just tell you because I haven't slept.
What?
I said, what do you want to know about me?
Oh.
Now might be the time to ask. AmmonBundyDefense.com. $10,000 will get me out of the solitary confinement hole that they put Ammon in for 13 hours 2 weeks ago. And
It's Gavin. Kelly wants a number and can't get a hold of you via text, so just give me a call or text me.
something to talk about.
Alright, bye-bye.
How many goats do you have, Kelly? I have downsized my herd significantly this year, so I'm down to just a few. We have a miniature pony, and we have a turkey. We had 3 turkeys last year. I always process a turkey for Thanksgiving every year. And I had a heritage breed. Actually, it was 2 years ago now. And they're a beautiful breed. They're mostly dark meat, but they can take care of themselves, and they fly up in the trees at night. And as long as they don't get nabbed by an owl, they're usually pretty self-sufficient. But one turkey just followed me around, and when it came time to process, I usually don't have a problem with it, but I didn't want to kill her, and so we killed the other 2 and ate them, and now I have a turkey that's my pet. She's a red bourbon, and she's beautiful, and she's super sweet, and she lays really big eggs. You can eat the turkey eggs, just like chicken eggs. And I have bunnies. my kids love. They're their favorites. And I have a dog. And I have an awesome husband and awesome kids. And I became a Bundy defender last January 2nd when Bundy went in and protested his government for a redress of grievance at the Malheur Wildlife Refuge in Burns, Oregon. And he and Lavoie spoke a message that just resonated with me. And I started watching Lavoie's YouTube channel and telling all my friends at church that they should watch it too, but a lot of people just said, they're armed militants. What are you talking about? And so then I got a constitution and I started reading it, and haven't been ever involved in politics. We didn't really ever even vote because I didn't see a point in it. And Ammon kept doing his call outs to come to the refuge, and I kept thinking, I think our family's supposed to go, and then it didn't happen. My husband was like, what are you talking about? I don't know, he says people need to come to the refuge. But we weren't even there yet, so that wasn't going to happen. And then they were going to the meeting in John Day and ambushed them on Highway 395. Is that right? Highway 395. And the first car they stopped was Ammon's, and the federal informant Mark McConnell was driving it. And the other car, Lavoie was driving, and he had Shauna Cox and Ryan Bundy and Victoria Sharp and Ryan Payne with him. And as soon as they stopped, the FBI shot at their window when Ryan Payne put his hands out. And then Ryan jumped out of the car. And then Lavoie, being the cowboy that he is, knew he needed to get to the sheriff because there's a bunch of black armored cars surrounding him with lights. And so he kept driving to try to get to sheriff. And then they ended up killing him. And that day on the 27th, we didn't know until the 28th who had died. And I remember thinking at the time, oh man, what if it was Lavoie? What if it was Ammon? I didn't really know many of the other people because Ammon and Lavoie were kind of the spokespeople. It spent most of the time in front of the camera. And then they announced on the 28th it was Lavoie that was killed, and I grieved alone because not many people in my circle at that time knew who these people were. And I grieved because I believed in the message that he was sharing, and I believed he had a good heart and he was a good leader, and that our officials should have listened to them. That's how I became a Bundy defender. Then they hauled them all to Portland, which is near where I live. And I felt the Lord telling me to go and let them know that their people were here. And I've been doing that ever since. And here I am in Pahrump, Nevada, because they abused Ammon and we wanted him to know that his people were here. And I love Ammon and Lisa like family now, and I'm going to keep standing with them and standing by them. I've met awesome people in all of this, like Gavin and Sandra Symes, and John and Rebecca Lamb, and Lindsay Szymanski, and Grandma Lee, and Maureen, and so many great people. Jason Patrick, the Jake Ryan family. Oh my goodness, if you have a chance to meet a remarkable family, Jake Ryan, his whole family is just remarkable. and they stayed with us a lot last year for trial. And he was found guilty of depredation on federal property and faces up to 10 years in federal prison for digging a ditch after they killed the boy because they thought somebody was going to drive through the refuge and kill him. And Jake's, I think he's 24, and he loves ballroom dancing, but I don't think I was supposed to tell anybody that. Sorry, Jake. He's an amazing dancer. He is an amazing dancer. And he loves kids, and he loves the Lord, and he loves my family, and he could spend up to 10 years in federal prison for going to stand up for the Hammonds at the refuge, and for having a crappy public defender who didn't do a good job defending him, nor did Jason Patrick's attorney, or Daryl Thorne's attorney, or Dwayne Emmer's attorney. So all 4 of them were found guilty of a felony, and their sentencing was coming up. They've got it bumped out to I don't know what month we're in. I think they got it bumped out to September for the 4. You're confused, Josh? I'm confused too. We're outside of a federal detention center protesting prison abuse. And I'll tell you more about it if you'll go to AmmonBundyDefense.com and donate $50 so I can get out of here and go pee. I've been in here since 10 o'clock last night in Nevada. I'm not from Nevada or the desert. And I want to go home. But Ammon wants to go home, and Eric Parker wants to go home, and Pete Santilli want to go home. But they need our help for that to happen. They need everybody to come stand out here at the prison and march around it with us. And you should have been swallowed. Troll said you should have been swallowed.
Gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're getting tireder, I think.
God bless you. It's back just a couple. Where are you from? I'm from Vancouver, Washington, born and raised. Northwest. It's beautiful there. It's okay. It'll make people laugh. Oh, shot. Or shot down the door.
Good Lord, people are such... They like make the same trolls among us make the fake accounts faster than...
What jail lets you stand outside and do interviews?
We don't ask permission.
We are in a makeshift jail, 3 foot by 3 foot. Luana says, hi, Gavin.
Hi.
We're in a makeshift jail that's 3 foot by 3 foot because that's what this prison puts people in when they want to make them plead guilty and they don't want them to stand strong. And so they put them in cells like this and they handcuff them like I'm handcuffed. And then they leave them there for up to 72 hours. And then they let them out. You promise you're in jail. No, I'm not in jail. I'm outside of a jail. Protesting. Aw, something flew on my arm.
Sarah says Morgan called, but was 10,000 really raised?
No, I don't believe you, Sarah. I'm not coming out. You're such a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Morgan just wants me to come out now because he's feeling happy. He probably had his law firm put the money in. That's funny. No, he did not. Why would he call you back? Gavin's been calling him.
Because I'm Gavin.
Stop. So, at 6 a.m., is it 6 a.m.?
6 a.m. and
Is it? Right now?
It's 6 a.m. and these streams are probably going to shut off again soon because...
So if these streams shut off again, we'll have to turn them back on for the final. We don't know how much we got in donations yet. We had 2,500 raised last night before 11. And, or before 12 maybe. Oh my goodness. So if everybody on this live stream goes, you don't have to take my place, Sarah. I don't need to come out. I'm fine. I just need to get to the $10,000. I'm not delirious. I mean, I'm a little bit slurring my words, but I've been out in the sun all the week, and so that alone makes you kind of delirious. Did you call the second number?
I texted it and it's not working. But I can try phoning it. Maybe it doesn't work with text.
I'm thirsty. No, John made it 5 hours. His arms are a lot shorter than mine, and he was hurting. He was very hurting. I'm in Nevada, outside of the Pahrump jail. I'm outside the jail protesting. I'm not in a real jail. See, these are PVC pipe. They wouldn't put PVC pipe here. So I'm protesting prison abuse because this is the size of the cells that they put people in when they want to make them plead guilty, and they want to break them of their will. Then they handcuff them and put them in these cells, and then you start hurting and you feel alone out here in the middle of nowhere, and then you plead guilty in the end because they throw a ton of charges at you, and then people get scared and they don't want to spend forever in prison for a crime they didn't commit, so they just plead guilty so they can go home. So we're outside protesting and showing solidarity for the prisoners that are going through this. And the sunrise is beautiful this morning, but my arms hurt and I want my handcuffs off. And you don't realize all the little things that you want to do, like stretch your nose and get your hair pulled back when it gets all messy, and yeah. God is the only way. Rex. Is that Rex? This is God. Is the only way. And I know everybody needs support, and I'm just doing what I feel called to do. And it's overwhelming to think of all the people who need support, and you don't want to just give $20 here and there and not even have it make an impact. And so I can walk out, Gina, when I raise $10,000 for Ammon Bundy's Legal Defense Fund. He's been in jail over 400 days without trial, and he gets held in a 3-foot by 3-foot shower cell when they want to make him comply. And the worst thing that he has done in jail is tell them that he will not assist them in the multiple strip searches that they continue subjecting him to. So he won't resist them from checking him, but he is resisting helping them in their abuse, in their immorality. he has given them no reason to search him. And they'll search him before and after attorney visits. They'll search him double or triple compared to what they'll search other people because they're trying to break his spirit. And strip searches are intrusive, especially for an innocent man who has 6 children and a beautiful wife that he's faithful to. And well, there's a lot of people in this jail, Lee. I could go on and on about all the people we've met. But Ammon Bundy went and protected his cattle when the BLM came to Bunkerville and was shooting them in the head. And he wasn't even armed, and he stood with other people and protested until the federal government stood down, the BLM. And this is going to get bad. And they ended up charging Ammon along with all the others on assault to a federal officer and using a weapon in a crime and all kinds of things, extortion, and just ridiculous. He's facing 95 years in prison for being an American hero. And he needs support. All these men in these jails we're learning about need support. They're all being denied bail. None of you can call them criminals because first off, they haven't even gone to trial. They're being denied bail. And second, even the ones who have gone to trial, hello, I'm going to wave to the human traffickers as they drive by. But even the ones who have gone to trial didn't get due process or didn't get a constitutional trial. So you can't even say the ones who went to trial are truly guilty or are criminals because they weren't treated fairly. And so we need to bring down the walls of these prisons, and we need to speak up for the ones who are being abused and forgotten. $65,000 a year is what this particular facility makes on one inmate. This is a private facility. $65,000 a year means they don't want people to get out on bail. And the local government and the state government and the federal government is all making money on them. So nobody wants them to get out on bail. If they get out on bail, they can prepare for their case and they can hand the federal government their rear end to them on the day of the verdict. And so they leave them in jail, and then they put them in little cells like this that are 3 foot by 3 foot, and they leave them handcuffed like I've been for 7 or 8 hours now. I think I'm at 8 hours. And I don't give them food or water. And then they end up pleading guilty to a crime they didn't commit. No, they didn't get one either. They didn't get a fair trial either, the last group. Nobody gets a fair trial in the courts anymore. So we have 250 viewers right now. So we're outside the Southern Nevada Detention Center, CCA, and they also go by Core Civic now because they have so many lawsuits they had to change their name. They're a private prison all across this nation, but the one we're at is in Nevada in the middle of the desert. And they put people in cells and abuse them and torture them, and financially profit off of them. They're human traffickers, and we're out here protesting this in Nevada, standing in these makeshift cells, handcuffed. The last one that we were told of was Ammon Bundy, who was in this cell for 13 hours after being beat up by the guards and left for 13 hours with bloody ankles. And then after that, thrown naked into solitary confinement. And so as soon as we raise $10,000, I can get out and I can go pee. And that's important. So if somebody could check, Sarah, if you could check with Morgan.
I keep trying, but I'm not getting him. Deep breaths. Guys, share this out there. Actually, you know what? This video is going to end in a minute, everybody, because Facebook only lets the streams go for 4 hours. So come back, go to the source of this page and refresh it. And as soon as we get the new video up, I need you guys to share it everywhere. Get it out there. Get people pitching in.
AmmonBundyDefense.com. Everybody watching right now donated $25. Oh, we're at 260 viewers on John's page now. 75 on mine. So if everybody watching right now went and donated $25, we'd get our mark. And I would be able to get out of this cell. This is a replica of a cell that they put prisoners in that have not gone to trial, that the Southern Nevada Detention Center wants to keep people because they get $65,000 a year and they make profit off of them. And they want them to plead guilty of crimes they didn't commit. And they scare them with tons and tons of charges. We've talked to so many people in there that are being held on victimless crimes. One man yesterday built his own guns to shoot with, and was shooting with his family on BLM property, and they came and said his guns didn't have serial numbers, so he had to serve 5 years in prison. 5 years for having a gun that doesn't have a serial number. What in the world? Are we crazy in America that if you don't have a serial number on your gun, why are we registering guns? If we have the right to keep and bear arms, there's no reason we should be registering our guns. Who registers guns? It reminds me of all the way back to when they wanted all the children and people registered back when Jesus was born, because they knew that they were threatened by his birth and they wanted to know where he was. And that's the exact same reason that they would make you register your guns now. And this man is serving 5 years in federal jail. And there's so many people in this jail we're learning about victimless crimes, and they would never harm anybody, and yet they're spending years and years and years now behind bars while a private facility makes $65,000 a year on them. And so we're here protesting that.
Okay, what I'm going to do, since it's almost ending, is I'm going to go ahead and shut down one stream and get it restarted before it ends, so that we have consistency. So I'm going to be shutting down Kelly's stream real quick here, and then I'm going to start it back up again. So just come back to here, click on her profile if this stops, when this stops here. And I want you guys to come back and share it far and wide, because we'll be good for another 4 hours, and we expect to have the $10,000 by then.
Yes, we do. We'll get it.
Okay, so I'm going to close this one. Now, John Lamb's stream is going to be live in the interim, but this one will be back up in just a moment, because Facebook, Facebook
4 hour
Facebook
mark.
has a 4 hour mark.
Gavin's tired too. He hasn't slept.
Okay. Okay, so this one's down, but John's is still going.
So just post that one and then shut his down at the same time.
Well, I was going to restart yours and then go cycle
I need
his.
a bucket. I have to pee.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You have to go get your wife and never bring me a bucket.
I'll text Sandra and
I can't wait anymore.
Well, and it's better to do it before
everybody wakes up.
Everybody else gets here.
I don't know what's worse, peeing in a bucket or having to pee down a drain and then sit on the floor of it all night. Police detention just pulled in. Those are the hostage workers. Gavin, bucket.
I just texted her, and there is a bucket here. But
Wait, you turn the live stream off first. Okay, guys, we'll be back in like 2 minutes.
But she's got to get out here, Kelly.
Well, I know.
And she waddles, so.
It's true.
So I'm just gonna prepare things while we're waiting for that.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll be inefficient. You think you could sleep now?
No.
No.
I think I'm going to have to take about 10 ibuprofen before I can sleep. I don't even want to move. You barely move the shoulders in there. This is why Ammon couldn't lift his shoulders when they took him out. Because your shoulders get so stiff from being in the same position all night. This is a protest against prison abuse outside of the private prison in Pahrump, Nevada, where people are being held in 3-foot by 3-foot cells with handcuffs on all night, so that, who is that?
Shift change, isn't it?
Oh yeah, so that they hold I don't know what I was saying. You guys have heard it.
It has to be shift change. Nobody's visiting this time of morning.
Oh yeah. So they hold him in 3-foot by 3-foot cells with handcuffs on to get him to plead guilty and beat him down. I know, right, Sarah? Oh my gosh. Sarah says, bucket!
We have the bucket. We just don't have the attendant yet.
We just need the attendant. The attendant is coming to assist me. So we're protesting, and we have been out here since 10 p.m. last night. Ammon Bundy was held for 13 hours. They told him that that's where, no, not Arnold Law. No, his attorney that went to trial with him in Oregon that won the case was Morgan Philpott and Marcus Mumford. And so Morgan is helping Ammon again here in Nevada, and so we're raising some funds for him.
There's her waddle.
John made it 5 hours, but his shoulders were hurting so badly. Thank you, Bruce. That's what they wanted. AmmonBundyDefense.com. And, I don't know what I was saying, but yes, that sounds good. I know, after I pee, I'll be able to think. John made it 5 hours, but his shoulders were hurting. My arms are longer than his, so bye. Come back in a few minutes.
Okay, we'll be right back. And so hang out here so you can share this everywhere as soon as she's back.
Love you guys.